This one product melts tree sap and grime faster than basically anything I've used and cuts my wash time in half when I'm dealing with nasty exteriors. What's going on, guys? Luke here with Wilson Auto Detailing and autodetailer.com. The Land Cruiser that you're looking at here is a great example, specifically on the roof of a car that sits outside 24/7 and is never detailed. And if you are a detailer and you have dealt with cars like this, specifically that sit under trees, you know that what we're looking at in terms of the grease, grime, and tree sap on the roof is one of your worst nightmares. And the reason for that is because this dirt is basically like sandpaper. Number one, you can't even pick it off with your fingernail. Number two, you can't touch it with a car soap. And number three, even with most tar removers, tree sap removers, and X-specific removers on the market, you still have a hard time getting the results needed in any sort of reasonable time frame to remove this type of dirt. So just a quick spoiler alert, the product I'm using in this video is Citral Degreaser. I'll talk about the two different versions of Citral Degreaser that I buy in just a second. But first, what I'm doing here is diluting Citral Degreaser a little bit with water, actually a little bit less than just 1-to-1. Now, here's the thing. Citral Degreaser is a citrus-based degreaser or citrus-based, what I would call like all-purpose cleaner. And I don't mean all-purpose cleaner in the sense that I use it in all areas. I just mean that it's a non-specific cleaner. It's kind of agnostic. I can use it on windows. I can use it on car paint. I can use it in some situations on different types of rubber trim. I don't really ever use it on interiors, but it's also a great like adhesive remover after removing decals or stickers. But in this case, I'm using it as a tar and tree sap remover. The reason why I'm diluting it just a little bit is because it is a very, very concentrated, very, very strong cleaner. Underneath the dirt, the paint on this roof is super oxidized because anytime you have dirt and tree sap sitting on paint like this, you're naturally going to start to degrade the clear coat, okay? So I like to do a tiny bit of risk management, pour a little bit of water, again, a little bit less than 1-to-1, increase the amount of solution that I can use, shake it up, and it also kind of increases the like spreadability of the product because it's a bit of a viscous product because it is so concentrated. So it's a little bit more like syrup than it is like water. So diluting the product gives me a little bit more like spreadability, like I said. What I'm going to do after I spray it is literally just let it sit. And I want to come in after about 3 minutes and just use my hand to sort of remove some of that tree sap and that dirt and residue just to show you how powerful the chemical itself is at breaking down this type of terrible dirt without any intervention. So I spray it and I just let it sit. And because I've diluted it a little bit, and even if it was fully concentrated here, I'm using a lot of product. I want to spray the product and just let it sit in pools and puddles on top of this type of dirt. Now, after it's sat for at least a few minutes, and in this case, by the way, I actually do suggest letting it sit for at least 3 minutes. And if you can stand it 5 minutes, just sit back and let it do its thing because it really is that powerful. I come in with a completely drenched microfiber towel, drenched in water, and then I also spray some of the Citral Degreaser on that microfiber, and I'm literally just putting in elbow grease, scrubbing as hard as I can to pull the rest of that dirt up. Now, in this stage, I'm not looking to pull up every single freckle of tree sap or aphid residue or dirt, but I want to pull up the majority, and that's because after I'm done with my microfiber, I'm going to leverage my pressure washer, come in and use the blade of the pressure washer to pick up any last minute freckling. Now, between those two strategies, it pulls off basically everything, but to top everything off, I'm going to come in with my clay mitt afterwards. I'm just using Optimum No Rinse as a clay lube, and I'm using my clay mitt, and I want to scrub every single panel in a 2x2 section until I stop hearing that hyper gritty kind of spread as I'm moving the clay mitt across the paint, and that's when I can call this roof officially done. Now, if you have detailed any number of cars, you will have encountered a situation like this, and there's a couple reasons why it sucks so bad. Number one, all of this happens on the roof. The roof is hard to get to. It's hard to reach. You got to lean over and then pull your ladder away, and then you got to get in all the cracks and crevices of the rubber, weather stripping, and sealing, and then you got to make sure that you get all the terrible residue because the roof is where everything lands, and then the sun bakes the roof before it bakes any other area of the car. So it's just this recipe for disaster. So if you go to a retail store and buy some retail available tar remover, 9 times out of 10, you're just never going to get the results here. And so Citral Degreaser is just another example of one of those products that has been imported. It's not specifically for detailing, but you just import it into the detailing world because it works so well. Now, I mentioned just a second ago that I buy it in 2 different ways. Number one, there is a gallon concentrate available that's just the liquid. And number two, there are aerosol cans available of Citral as well. In a situation like this, I am always reaching for my concentrate gallon. Okay, so I want the liquid. I put it in my pump sprayer. I dilute it a little bit with water to increase its spreadability, and then I just let it sit on the paint. Another very common area that I use Citral Degreaser is on lower rocker panels behind the driver's wheel, passenger wheel, the back wheels, where you get that tar kicked up on that lower fender or lower rocker panel, and it's just impossible to remove. And if you try to remove remove it without some sort of really powerful chemical, you kind of start chipping away at it and you still have the stain left over. The aerosol can citral degreaser tends to be a better product for that specific area where you can actually spray it, leave it, watch it start to melt it off the paint, pressure wash it off, and you don't even have to touch it with any microfiber towel or with your hands or chip at it with your fingernail. Really powerful. And those are the 2 ways I use this product and the 2 ways I buy this product. So guys, I hope this video helped you. This one product will literally cut your wash time in half when you are encountering a car like this. I promise you don't need to learn from your own mistakes. Trust me, buy the product, use it. You'll thank me later. If you want a full list of products and tools that I use or suggest for beginners, go below to wilsonautodetailing.com and grab the Pro Detailing Toolbox. It's a totally free resource. And if you're a detailing business owner already and you want to grow faster and get around a really qualified community who are in your same revenue range, go below to autodetailer.com, submit an application. Would love to see if you're a good fit for the group. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you got value here, you will probably also get value from the video on screen where I'm showing you how to restore the rubber weather stripping around those windows on the exterior that gets super degraded and sunburned by the sun and is basically impossible to fix.